under Brother Stanley 2X's command. The argument broke out that they shouldn't be around me, as though they were trying to remove the hedge of security from around me. I immediately said, no, let these brothers stay here and you coordinate security with them. So the brothers from the nation and the ex-Crips and Bloods wearing all black, all of you can work together. A Chicano brother, a Mexican brother, one of the indigenous brothers, raised the question. That was the first and only question. He raised the question, how could the black and the brown work together? As I started to answer his question about the black and the brown working together, as I'm standing about like this, speaking to the crowd, about 2 o'clock to my right, I hear shots ring out. As the shots ring out about 2 o'clock to my right, almost in a split second, I'm looking for Farrakhan. My son was only 9. My son Farrakhan was 9 years old at that time. I'm looking for Farrakhan. As I see somebody swoop Farrakhan, bullets flying all around him, out of the line of fire. By this time, one brother hits me low, one brother hits me high, and as they begin to cover me, I didn't know this at that time, but several of the brothers around me, Crip, Blood, shot in the chest, in the shoulder. They took all of their first hit. And I caught a graze across the right leg and a direct hit right here. And I said, damn, I'm hit. And
what'd that feel like?
It didn't hurt. It didn't even burn. It didn't hurt. I mean, I ain't lying. I ain't. But it didn't hurt. That's all I can tell you. It didn't hurt. It rested a fraction of a millimeter from the main artery of the leg, according to the doctor's report. So, by this time, my other instinct kicks in. Everybody's screaming, hollering, men running, everybody's running. Stanley 2X, the first one of the ex-gang members, hits James Best to tackle him to take the gun, according to what the report is. I couldn't see all of this from my position. And as they fight over the, when he hits him, he slips the first brother, breaks his tackle. He's determined to kill me. Now the report was that there were 2 or 3 others with bow ties on that got away. That I cannot verify, but there are many reports that say that it was true.
Yeah, the Sentinel reported it, the Final Call reported the bow tie man.
And at this point, Stanley 2X, like a blitzing linebacker, hits him, fights him to the ground. The gun is to Stanley 2X's stomach. They fight for the gun. Stanley is able to take the gun from James Best on the ground. Training that I gave him, which was training that was given to me by my captain, Rashid, was that once you take the gun in a situation like that, if it's FBI, CIA, if it's cop, if it's nigger, if it's whatever, if it's so-called brother, I don't care who it is, in that situation, once you take the gun, in that situation, then you must take that person's life. Stanley 2X fights, takes the gun, and at that second they're on the ground, he puts the gun, fighting on the ground, and then he puts the gun to James Best's head. A Negro who's still in the mosque to this day, who used to be the minister in Rialto, California, named Billy X. He's a body and fender man. Billy X reaches down, according to Stanley, and Stanley sees his hand. Stanley is getting ready to pull the trigger. Billy reaches down, grabs the barrel of the gun. The 9mm, raises it up from James Best's head. And by this time, the crowd is kicking him and stomping him. The gun flies out of Stanley's head like a fumble football. Stanley 2X is fighting for the gun to get another chance because he knew my first question was going to be. And that was the first question out of my mouth. He knew my question. And he didn't want to hear that question. I'm here to answer it in a purpose. The first question I was going to ask was, did he get away? And if he didn't get away, did we kill him? That was the first thing I asked. Did we kill him? And he said, I tried. And he was hurt. You know, he had tears in his eyes. He said, I tried, but Billy took the gun up from his head. And that was never thoroughly investigated by the Nation of Islam. I never have been in a meeting with Billy X nor a hearing. Now I have my own, but I never had one with any of the security of the nation. At that point, he never got a chance to kill him, and Stanley did get the gun. This time the gun jammed, or something else happened to him. By this time the cops, a handful, appeared from some...
Four, in fact, just four.
Yeah, just four.
With no guns drawn.
No guns drawn, in a situation where gunfire is everywhere.
Right, right. Never had they run into a scene without
Possible, what is California? Possible 187?
Well, yeah, right. That's
Possible 187. When you're in and out of penitentiary in jail, you know the code. Possible 187 in progress.
Right.
And they never drew their service revolvers at all. They fight for Best and drag him unconscious.
By his face.
By his face on the ground, out of the crowd, body's limp. And by this time, everybody's screaming, hollering, running everywhere. So I'm able to stand with holding some brothers, and so then I have to take charge of the situation. Somebody said, well, let's lay him on the table. I could hear this. Let's lay him on the table till the ambulance comes. I said, God damn it, don't lay me on no damn table. Get me to the goddamn hospital. I'll lay there and bleed to death before these crackers get here. So I took somebody's tie, had on a straight tie. And when I took that straight tie, you know, I made the tourniquet to stop the blood. To stop the blood immediately. So we commandeered, once we went through the crowd and went through everybody. My son was, at first he was crying, Daddy, Daddy, they shot my daddy. And so I looked at him. I didn't want him to go into a state of shock. So I immediately looked at him. I said, I'm all right. He still didn't hear it. I said, God damn it, I'm all right. And he looked at me and said, I think that's my daddy. That's what he sounds. He's all right. And so then the next thing out of his mouth was, kill him. Kill him, God damn it, they shot my daddy. So I knew he had snapped back. And so they got us back to the back of the building, now at this door where it possibly would have all taken place. We come and did one of the brothers named, I think his name Brother Larry, who was a close friend of Brother Wazir. We get in his daughter's brand new Lexus, in their Lexus.
Convertible.
Blood everywhere. And he said, don't worry about it. We get in, nobody knows where the hospital is. That's one of the main things you're taught in the FOI. When you're having an event, you got to know where the nearest hospital, the nearest trauma unit. You got to know the ETA from that location to the hospital. You got to have all these things. You got to run the route as the captain or the lieutenant. You run the route and you do all of that prior to the event. None of that was done. So we in the car don't know where the hell the hospital is. And I'm giving orders, barking orders. We're not stopping for no lights. We ain't stopping for nothing. Let's go. Pause at the intersection. Keep going. And we almost had a wreck. We swerved around the car. Finally, we make it. We asking people, "Where's the hospital? Where's the hospital?" Finally, we find the hospital. Then when I get to the hospital, cops pull up. Stanley 2X is in the car with me. I didn't know all this time he still had the gun. Mm-hmm. Cops knew he had the gun because somebody told him he had it. The cops came from everywhere. When they get out of the car and the brothers are holding me and I get out of the car, all I can hear is the staccato of guns cocking all around me. All around me.
And remember too that they closed the fence after your car got out, which shouldn't have got out because the way they had the cars put in. After your car got out, they closed everyone else into the compound of the university, and they laid out there for 45 minutes before they could get out. All other people.
Yeah, they did lay there.
Yeah, they laid there for 45 minutes.
So all of the guns cocked. So again, my training from Captain Rashid snapped in again. So immediately I've got to try to stand on these legs and lean there bleeding now and take charge. And I said, you know, put them goddamn guns away. So I'm moving toward the cops. Stanley, they want the gun from Stanley.